So, most of you here probably know me, hopefully, but if you don't, welcome to Stuff We Play, home of everything weird and retro. That's how it goes, right? My name is Jamie, and I want to talk a bit about why I left YouTube, more importantly, why I'm coming back, but now instead of live from Canada, I live in Stade, Germany. So, here, let me get my retro sunglasses on. Oh god. Fuck it. I started this channel when I was 18 years old. I just graduated high school, I was going away for college, and most of my friends were saying goodbye. For context, by the way, I'm 27 now. Old. Don't call me old. Fucking A. I was quickly realizing that I was having fewer and fewer people to talk about my favorite things, including, as it turns out, weird gaming shit. Well, except for Colin and Kenton. You two are and always will be my friends, even if we don't talk as much as we used to. So with minimal knowledge of how to properly edit videos and a lot of gusto, I dove headfirst into talking about gaming and the stuff I was enjoying playing. The stuff we, as me and my friends would put it, played. Over the years though, I lost that spark of creative fire. Realized I no longer enjoyed gaming. I looked at video games and the concept of, will this make a good video? Can this get engagement? Does anybody actually give a shit? Or in the case of the Art of Failure series, is this a compelling development story? Without, I feel like in some cases, fully comprehending the emotional side of game development. I can't be serious with these glasses on. Eventually, I kind of stopped mostly playing games altogether unless it was something I would guarantee would get views. It was kind of exhausting. During this time also, as most of my collection was just a lot of stuff I had, so I could say I had it, or that I could make a video on. I was surrounded by media I just couldn't or wouldn't consume. I was almost constantly overwhelmed by the fact that I wasn't playing games, and also by the fact that I knew I had a lot of stuff that I thought was cool but just wouldn't make a marketable video. Also, like, a note to you game collectors out there, oh boy, you have your own little Samson on the NES? Well, guess what I've done? I kissed my spouse today. So I sold my game collection, got a real job outside of like contract video work, you know, and moved to Germany. And the last almost 4 years, I've flirted with the idea of coming back to this channel though. I've even started posting a couple of feeler videos, though starting my other ongoing project you more likely know me from, Tales from the S-Spawn. Plus, I've started playing games again, and actually to a much lesser extent than before, thanks for this break, gotten some retro stuff. I love old keyboards. You know, I've really remembered why I love video games, but also as I now work in the games industry, I feel like I have more to say than I used to. Not just that, but I've realized I really miss talking to you about games. So, with that said, I'm Jamie, this is Stuff We Play, home of everything weird and retro, but also my unhealthy obsession with Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah! Hey babe?
Yeah?
Can I play games on your iPad?
Fine.
Off of my list, got my money in my bitch. That's a check.
Now, coming back to this, I want to talk about games through the lens of things that are important to me and things I either notice about life or the industry. I mean, if you want proper old-fashioned reviews, some call me Johnny exists. His stuff's cool. Look at him for that. But with that in mind, Sonic Dream Team is cool, and it really doesn't have much of a story. I guess Eggman wants to take over dreams or some shit. Oh, and he's kidnapped Cream the Rabbit, one of my favorite underutilized Sonic characters, only because of how overpowered she was in Sonic Advance 2. I know why she's a lot of other people's favorite as well, and quite frankly, a lot of those folks really need to get their hard drives checked, if you catch what I'm saying. She's 6 years old, for fuck's sake. Anyways, Sonic, Amy, Knuckles, Tails, Cream, because again, a dream, Rouge back for some reason later on through an update Shadow the Hedgehog, because movie tie-in must dive into the world of dreams to save the day or whatever. There's also this dream goddess lady named Ariam, you know, like Ariam, Very nice, Sega. Very cool. See, the reason I really want to talk about Sonic Dream Team is, to me at least, it shows the true power of mobile as a true gaming platform, and not just a platform microtransaction or a flood of ads masquerading as gameplay. And also, I think it's a breath of fresh air for the Sonic franchise. Now, on the mobile topic, there are actually quite a lot of other mobile titles I like. I play Mini Metro and Mini Motorways pretty religiously every day. The Katamari game in Apple Arcade is great. I've been playing Idol Slayer every day for roughly a year now. Sonic Dream Team is probably the perfect encapsulation of giving a new original experience for mobile platforms, which, while not perhaps console tier or AAA in quality, at the very least feels on par with a traditional on-the-go gaming experience, like you'd find on the I want to say less Switch, maybe like 3DS. Grand cutscenes here are overwhelmingly done this comic style. Sonic Sayers used since, Sonic Rush back in 05 for portable entries? I skipped most of these cutscenes. I gotta be honest, I really did not give a damn about this story. Now, technically speaking, if you don't like mobile but you have a Mac, you can play this game on a computer with a controller because, Apple. What I find so incredible here is the commitment to giving a proper 3D Sonic experience in mobile form, and on the iPad at least, I thought it controlled really well. While I wouldn't say Sonic Dream Team is going to make any top 10 Sonic game lists, I think they did a really respectable job here. Especially so as Sega Hardlight, the British dev studio behind this entry, was previously best known for making that Sonic Dash Temple Run clone game, which itself was pretty respectable for what it was. Sonic Dream Team only has 4 worlds, technically 5, maybe 6. We'll get into it. However, these are divided into multiple acts, kind of remind me of Sonic Colors, that start off with a longer get to the end mission, and then have a bunch of smaller missions in between with different objectives. After you beat the game, you unlock the 5th world, this game's equivalent to Mario's Star Road, and you also get access to the Tails challenges somewhere in there, which are daily missions that get you unlockables, and also a randomized set of challenges that change every single day. Also via the Tails challenges, as he's not in the main game story, that's where you get access to Shadow, who has his own exclusive nightmarish world aesthetic stages. On the whole though, I would say these missions do vary in type and quality. However, as a plus, unlike in titles such as Sonic Unleashed or Colors, there are no 2D segments here. Tiberius, would you like to say hello? Oh, you just woke up from a nap and you just really wanted to be held right now, didn't you? Yeah, do you want to say hi to the camera? There are no 2D segments here, which leads to actual 3D exploration platforming, even if at times in limited space with a camera that doesn't always play nice. But again, not all missions are created equal. Some of these shard search missions where you have to find 6 pieces of a shard get kind of tedious, just like the similar missions in Sonic Adventure actually. I do like most of the missions in this game though, and I also like the bosses, which test your reflexes and pattern recognition, especially the final boss, which has used every character except Shadow. I also like that boss because I gotta be real, I guess one other disappointment for me was that that's something that kind of felt dreamy to me, the rest of them just felt like a pretty standard Sonic fare. I played Sonic Dream Team twice. Once was on an iPad and once was on my editing computer, which is a Mac Mini. I actually found the touch controls on the iPad remarkably good. There's a bit more gives with moves such as Sonic's homing attack, and stages have more guardrails over instant death hazards than I'm used to. And also platforms are usually pretty big. This leads to the touch controls, which I already feel as tight as it can be for a game like this. Sonic and mobile over the past decade has actually a really good track record with touch controls. They feel particularly well accommodated for here. In one particular example I'll get to a bit too accommodated for. See, while Sonic Dream Team has 7 playable characters, really it's 4. Sonic and Amy are clones of each other, being able to run fast and perform the light speed dash, first introduced in Sonic Adventure. Pretty much just see them as aesthetic skins of each other, and yes, I went for Amy Rose, because I bet she tastes like strawberry. Cream and Tails both feature a variant of Tails' classic moveset, being able to fly for a short period of time, which by the way also is really well accommodated for. It's very rarely felt broken, even in stages where you can choose any of the characters, but perhaps it's thanks to them having their own exclusive stages that are particularly designed around this that I think it really manages to shine. Rouge and Knuckles I think have one of the most interesting implementations. Like in the adventure titles, they can glide through the air and climb walls, but not all walls, just these very specific red ones. I thought this would be annoying and limiting and really make me not want to play at them, but I was pleasantly surprised that stages were really designed with this in mind. And speaking of stages and stuff, they keep heading more in updates. There's just so much stuff to do in this game. Red rings together, new shadow levels that remix old stages, and oh, speaking of things that came in update, Shadow! Shadow can use his chaos control powers to either slow down time or quickly dash across areas. In stages where all characters are allowed, this can be a bit broken, making the fact that he has to be unlocked for normal gameplay actually make perfect sense for me. Much like the others, his exclusive stages are designed with this moveset in mind. I actually really liked using the iPad controls with him, as aiming his dashes felt really natural, almost like you're dragging a reticle. This, on the other hand, led to a very weird situation where it just felt awful to play on PC. I tried playing as Shadow both with an Xbox controller and with a mouse and keyboard setup, the mouse mapped to camera by the way. In both cases felt so twitchy and unwieldy, and sometimes his reticle would just fly off into wherever the fuck. It sucked, as every other character was fine. Granted, you don't need to play as Shadow to complete the campaign. Well, this shouldn't have to be the case. It's still part of the game you're missing out on. But on the whole, I really love Sonic Dream Team. And I'm not saying loved past tense because I still come back to this daily and see myself continuing to do so. Maybe it's a side of the state of the games industry, in a way. In a world where I feel like I'm seeing my fellow industry workers being laid off left and right. Yeah, I work in the games industry for my day job. But in a world where that's happening and Mario Kart costs $90, I see AAA studios dropping the ball left and right. It feels so odd to play a game like Sonic Dream Team that is not only solid, but really reminds me why I like video games. And not only is it a solid game, but it's a solid mobile optimized game. It's Apple Arcade though, so that means there's no ads or microtransactions. It may not be revolutionary, but it's a breath of fresh air. And not even just for gaming, but for Sonic in general. I go to Gamescom every year. I'm actually usually a speaker at DevCom as of the past few years. And that's where I've respectively first had a chance to try Sonic Superstars and Shadow Generations. And those games are, well, they're fine. In Shadow's case, they're damn good, if ultimately pretty short, but they are so tied down by nostalgia. I think that's been Sonic's biggest issue for a while, as it is with so many series nowadays. Remember the good old days? Remember the 90s? I guess in Sonic 3's case, you know, the movie. Remember Sonic Adventure 2? This is another issue actually, not just across the games industry, but media as a whole. I hope I'm not ranting here. I feel like I have so much to say. I hope this isn't a case of old woman yells at cloud. Screw it, we've made it this far. I'm sick of having nostalgia peddled to me. I literally did a video a couple years back called Pokemon X and Y Where Nostalgia Ends, and I feel like this is something I circled a bit with that, and who knows, maybe I'll revisit it when Pokemon Legends ZA comes out. Let me be clear, I love old school stuff. Case in point, nostalgia is a great, powerful emotion. It's great to remember good memories, times when we were young, and even a world that felt less generally horrifying. Or maybe that was still generally horrifying, but because we were kids or teenagers or whatever, we didn't realize it as such. Like so many things in modern society, it can be capitalized on. I'm talking about the commercialization of nostalgia, and it's so rampant. This is what I mean when I say I am sick of nostalgia. Here, let me put my thinking glasses on. Nostalgia in a can, Back to the Future mugs, Star Trek Picard, Pokemon Legends, Russell T Davies is back on Doctor Who, GameCube comes to Nintendo Switch Online. Remember Tamagotchi? You ever watch Ready Player One? Well, guess what? Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers is back, fuckers! That was 3 years ago! And it's not even 90s stuff that's being nostalgia baited. Did you know that Minecraft is over 15 years old now? Oh yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! Flint and Steel, Chicken Jockey. How do you do, fellow kids? Fuck me. You know, it's okay for things to grow and change. It's okay for series to try new things or to even take a break and leave room for new ideas. And sometimes it's good for a Sonic game to aim to be nothing more than just a good, solid 3D Sonic game. Not a game-changing Sonic game, not a game that pays homage to the classics, no new gimmicks, mercifully no Green Hill Zone. Sonic Dream Team doesn't even have Chaos Emeralds, unless you count them when Shadow randomly has to do Chaos Control moves with, but meh. Sonic Dream Team dares to just be a good, solid 3D platformer for a mobile platform. To me, it proves the viability of Apple Arcade as an actual gaming platform, and more than that, it shows me that fun new Sonic games can be made without relying on the past. And I admire that, and I enjoy the game. Again, I'm probably going to go do some Tails challenges after I'm done recording this. But before I do, I'd like to start doing something here to end off my videos that I do over on my other channel, Tales from the S-Spawn. I know I reference that a lot, don't worry, neither that one or this was my main. I consider these two different projects. Actually, it's funny, more people watch that daily now than watch Stuff We Play and Speak. So if you've come here from there, hello, welcome. Let's answer this viewer question, and this comes from a video I did on my favorite trans icon. Because guess what I am? Birdo. Put simply, it's if Mario 2 USA was all just Mario's dream in the end, then why are characters like Birdo and Shy Guy real? And that's a very good question. It could be argued it wasn't actually a dream, but the original manual descriptions in the game's world being called Subcon doesn't really leave that up to interpretation for me. However, we do know that Luigi, Princess Peach, and Toad are real in Mario's world and also appear in that dream. As such, my idea is that most if not all of the characters encountered in Mario 2 USA were actually characters Mario had encountered in his everyday life. All of them from Mauser, to Clyde, to the Fry Guys, to even Mecha Birdo from the Super Mario Advance version of Mario 2 USA. They all exist in Mario's waking life as well, and that's why he dreamed of them, and then later went on to play tennis and shit with a bunch of them. All of them except Wart. That frog isn't real. Obviously, he's just the result of Mario taking a lot of Benadryl.
The best of them, tougher than Knuckles. You can call me Knuckles, unlike Knuckles, I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my knuckles, I'm hard as Knuckles. It ain't hard to chuckle, I break them down whether they Knuckles. Unlike Knuckles, I'm independent since my first chuckle. First Knuckles, still the Knuckles, then no Knuckle chuckle. Born on an island in the Knuckle.